Friends, family, it is the 12 Days of Beardsmas, day number 1111. We have today and tomorrow's show, and it's a wrap for this year. Please buckle up. We got two good ones for you. Today is one that most of you have likely never heard of before the video. Tomorrow, though, I promise you, every single one of you has heard of this person, and it'll all kind of make sense as we wrap everything up. But welcome to the video, you guys. We're going to talk about a company. We're going to give a history lesson. We're going to give a giveaway winner from yesterday and then launch the new giveaway today. Thank you for stopping in. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoy this series, this content, this channel, anything at all that you're happy about. I do appreciate it. So today we are going to talk about whiskey and hardtack. I don't know if it's picked up with the light there, but this is I call it a murdered out black on black whiskey and hardtack hat. Real subtle, but it's there. It's one of those things, it's like, if you know, you know, which I dig. I'll put over here, Dan C is your discount for whiskey and hardtack always. It is worth 15% off. I cannot recommend this company enough, you guys, from the customer service, to the quality of the products, to the selection, to the scents. Give them a shot. I promise you will have no regrets with this company. Top of the line. Top two products that I use from them, once again, is almost an impossible task. Number one would be their medium thick viscosity beard oil. Love, love, love. If I need a day where I need my beard to style well, look great, feel great, this is one of my absolute go-tos, and I love pretty much every scent. Now, the second one is really tough, and I might cheat a little bit here, but it's dang near split between their beard wash bar. It's not a soap, it's a beard wash bar, a solid wash, and their conditioner. I love both of them. I use them equally. They're both in the shower right now. I have some more on the way in the mail because I don't have any extras to show you guys. I didn't want to show you my shower product once, but I love those. If I had to pick one, because nobody else offers it, it would be that solid wash beard bar, whatever. I forget the exact title, but it's a solid beard wash bar. I think that's it. Nailed it. That would be my one. I feel like my head's crooked. Apologize if it is. But those are my two favorites, would be the oil and that wash bar, with a close third with the conditioner. The butter's fantastic. I don't wear balm, but I'm sure that one's great as well. Everything they do is done very well. And again, just pure class. They handle everything in a great way. Fantastic owners. Give them a shot and let me know once you guys do. And then, of course, in the comments, what do you love? What are your top two products from Whiskey and Hardtack? What was your experience like? This is the last video for them. So let potential consumers know your thoughts. Beard of the day, mini history lesson about stuff that I just find interesting and I'm passionate about. With Whiskey and Hardtack, I had to find a U.S. Civil War general. Now, I wanted to go with one that had some legit facial hair. I didn't want to just go with another mustache or a big name that everybody knew. I also wanted to find one that most of you had never heard about and thought would be interesting to learn about them, and I've got one. Today, we are going to talk about, boom, Alpheus S. Williams. Now, this one is kind of a local legend in Michigan, and I wanted to share this information with you guys. Alpheus was actually born in, and first off, let's take a look at that facial hair. He's got, I think that's his mustache extended there. That's just wicked and wild, and he's got a big, full beard. The dude was rocking some unique facial hair. All right, back to the story. He was born in Connecticut, and he went to Yale Law School to get his law degree, and unfortunately, he lost his father and both of his parents at a very young age, and he was left behind a very substantial inheritance. The kid was balling. So after law school, he decided to take 4 years and he was going to travel the world. He spent most of his time in Europe and most of his time traveling across the United States, and he really wanted to go visit different battle scenes and learn about the strategies and the layout of the land and really what went down. He loved war strategy. When he came back and now he's going to act on that law degree, he decides out of everywhere he's going to move to Detroit, Michigan. Now you might be like, that's a weird move for a lawyer and someone with a lot of inheritance and living well with a Ivy League degree. Well, keep in mind, back then, the 1830s, early 1800s, mid 1800s, and really beyond for a while, places like Detroit and Flint, Michigan were booming. They originally were frontier towns and they were a huge stop. And then they eventually became the automotive industry, like hub of the world. So this was a time where life was great in this area. And for me, I am one exit from Flint, Michigan. Literally, you get off the highway on I-75 to my city, the next one is Flint. And so I see the devastation. I see how horrible the conditions are. Detroit is the same way. What I would give to go back to this time and see these cities at their height, to see these cities when they are just absolutely balling and living this extravagant lifestyle, I would love. I think that would be my number one stop going back in history. What about you guys? Side comment down below. If you could travel back in history to any point in time in any location, where would it be? Especially when we're talking about terms of history. I know a lot of you would want to meet like family members, but in terms of observing history, I would want to see the mid 1800s, Flint and Detroit, Michigan. That's my one. Okay, so he goes to Detroit. He establishes his own law practice. He gets married. And man, unfortunately, like we've heard so many times on this series, him and his wife had 5 children. He lost 2 of them as infants, and he actually lost his wife at a very young age, at age 30. It's so disheartening and like just, sickening to me that this was just normal back then. We lost women at young ages. About 50% of babies had a not so great life early on and even died at times. Of course, as we've seen with everybody, just so sad to me. I just, as a father, as a husband, I couldn't even know how I would manage that. Just terribly, terribly sad. Well, from there, he was a very well-established lawyer. He became a judge. He was a businessman, all sorts of stuff. But one that was interesting is he joined the Michigan militia. Now, when you hear that, today a militia is much different than back then. The militia back then worked hand in hand with the government, with the military. It was kind of like an unofficial extension or arm of the government military. They helped out in wars. They traveled for battles. They really were used by the government with just not as much funding or training from the government. So the government's like, yeah, let's go, bring them on. Well, the Civil War breaks out, and Alpheus works his way up the rankings of the Union Army, the Union military, and becomes a general. Now, this was not your traditional path to becoming a general, especially a major general that he's going to become. And really, most generals back then went to West Point. They kind of had this good old boys club, and Alpheus wasn't one of them, so he was not really loved by the generals. However, he was absolutely loved by everyone else that he interacted with. Oftentimes, his soldiers were cited with saying that he treated them like he was their own children, like they were his own children. Same later on in life that we'll talk about some of his adventures. Everybody just raved about him as if he was a dad or a grandfather figure to them. That's awesome. So again, he moves up his rankings, becomes a general in the Union Army. And unfortunately, early on, he ran into Stonewall Jackson, who was a legendary, probably the most well-known general from the South, other than Lee, of course. And Jackson absolutely outclassed Alpheus, not once, but twice, defeating him with far less men, and it was all coming down to strategy. And essentially, he bottled him up and got him into bad locations and took advantage of it. Not good. So things were not going so great on that side for Alpheus. And then he kind of got lucky. He was actually leaving another loss at a battle, and he fought in all the major battles. He fought in Antietam, Gettysburg, Bull Run. He fought in the big ones, which is pretty cool when you look back and study this, how he got there. Well, he was leaving a lost battle, and along the way, he found something that is known as the Lost Orders, and I believe they're called like the Lost Orders 191, and what it was an order from General Lee that was generally supposed to be private. See what I did there? And it was giving the plans for the Confederate Army. What? He turns it over to the Union, works it all the way up, and essentially the Union has the cheat code of what the Confederates want to do and how they're going to do it, and it was a major, major turning point in the U.S. Civil War that does not get taught enough or talked about enough, and it was from somebody finding some papers that were lost on the ground. Somebody got in some major trouble that ended up dropping those papers. I don't know who that was. Well, of course, you go through that point. The Union ends up winning. After the war, Alpheus becomes a career government military man, taking different positions in the military. And then he actually ran for governor of Michigan. Did not get it, but he did become and get elected to a U.S. congressman, and it killed him. Literally killed him. He was in the U.S. Capitol building, had a stroke, and died on the spot at that moment. Whoa, yes, he's got to be one of the only people who's ever died in the U.S. Capitol building. My goodness gracious. but the dude had a legacy. Again, in Michigan, he has monuments, he has statues. He's talked about probably more because of that local lore, that local legend. And the last thing I'll give you with is I think he had a little bit of a sense of humor that I can appreciate. He had two main horses that he would use. One was supposed to be this beautiful show horse that just was graceful and just gorgeous, but not so practical in war. Then he had another horse that was a little bit wider, a little bit heavier, but a little bit more sure-footed and was going to be reliable in war, and he called that horse Plug Ugly. The bad one was called Plug Ugly, the horse that he was counting on, and the horse ended up living a very good life and went into its old age and was sold for breeding purposes. So shout out to Plug Ugly out there for representing Michigan. But man, Alpheus S. Williams, have you ever heard of him? What'd you think? Was there something interesting in there? Are there any other generals that are kind of obscure and not known as much that you really know about and love? Drop some information down below, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this general that most people I do not think have heard of. Can't wait to read those comments. Giveaway winner from yesterday, $50 worth of beard products from Beard Octane. Oh, bam! Congratulations. Beard Octane's going to reach out to you. Same thing, if you haven't heard from them in about a week, get a hold of me. We'll connect the two, get you what you deserve for this giveaway, and thank you for supporting. Today, Whiskey and Hardtack's last giveaway, our second to last giveaway of this series, $50 worth of products from this company. They are sending out mystery boxes, so you might get a little bit of this, might get a little bit of that. I have a sneaky feeling the value's over $50, but we'll say $50 value here. Three things that you need to do. Number one is be subscribed. You do need to check that. I have had on this series this year people that did not qualify because they didn't follow all the rules, so be subscribed. Number two, leave a comment. Every one of these videos, we've had more entries on Gleam than we have had comments. I do check those. Number three, as I just alluded to, there's a link in the description. There should be a pinned comment as well to sign up for that Gleam link. Good luck, everybody. One more show to go tomorrow. Somebody that all of you have heard about, but I promise I will bring some information that you did not know about them. Thank you guys for watching DNC Bearded. Stay bearded and stay positive.